Just white? I guess they aren't American. Hispanic or Latino? I guess only Mexican Americans are American. Black or African American? It looks like African American is a separate ethnicity. Oh. Just Asian. I guess they aren't considered American.
So America has put out that new census report differentiating African Americans from the different type of melanated people from islands and actually from Africa. And some people are confused on like, why? Why? Baby, because they're trying to get ahead of things. They're trying to give us the truth even though we're already discovering the truth. They're trying to possibly prevent us from wanting to correct our statuses, where you differentiated us from African American to the other types of melanated people. Baby, give us our titles back. And actually, don't give a shit. Don't give a shit because we're going to still take it. We're still going to take it. Yeah, we're still going to take it because we're not even African Americans. We don't want your reclassification. No, 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 no.
So this is the new census, U.S. Census for race and ethnicity. I know a lot of y'all struggle with that, black immigrants. So you see up here at the top is white. You have German, Irish. I don't see anything about white American up there. I guess they just own the white box. Then you have Hispanic or Latino. Wow, congratulations to the Latino and Hispanics. Y'all finally got y'all own race after avoiding it for hundreds of years. Now you no longer have excuse to identify as white, but yeah, whatever. So you have Mexican or Mexican American, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Salvadorian, Dominican, Colombian. Here we go. A black box, black or African American. So you could choose African American if you're African American. You could choose Jamaican. You could choose Haitian. You could choose Nigerian, Ethiopian, Somali. I know Somali probably wish they were down here in the Middle Eastern or North African box. As you can see down here, they don't consider themselves as racially black. They're not black race-wise, but they could still check off Middle Eastern or North African. African, yeah. But once again, I want to go back to the black box. You see that? Tell me how you feel about this census.
Hello lovelies, welcome back to today's episode. When you try to observe it well, this US new census is bringing a lot of confusion among Black Americans and African Americans because they left a place where you are supposed to tick either you are from African American or you are from Jamaican, Haitian, or other countries from Africa. Black Americans, according to them, they don't agree with this because how come would you say you will tick you are African American and yet for them they believe that they belongs in America, they are from America? Why would this new US census suggest that they are from Africans? A lot of people are making reaction about it because it brings some kind of confusion and misunderstanding. Let's get to hear about different creators, the way they talk about it. Let me know your thought and your opinion. Then we'll come back with more commentaries.
So here's something that came up on my FYP. Are we still African Americans at this point? And before anybody gets mad, this is not a take. It's a question I'm legitimately asking. Most ethnic identities in the US, like the Irish Americans or the Italian Americans, they fade after a few generations. And according to some studies, by the third generation, most people stop identifying strongly with their ancestral roots. They still might celebrate the food or the holidays, but for the most part, it just becomes symbolic, right? And then they just say Americans. Some of them do still claim the Irish or the Italian, but Americans. But that's not how it works for us. Many Black families in this country have been here a lot longer than some white ones, 7, 8, or 9 generations deep. And still, the African and African American stays, even though we don't know the country, the tribe, the language, even though the actual link was violently severed. So the question becomes, is it heritage? Is it race? Or is it the only category that we were ever offered? And does it still fit? No right or wrong answer here. Not saying what it should be, I'm just wondering out loud. How long does it take before a label is considered outdated? Or do some labels stick because the system won't let it go? Does African American still feel like a connection? Or has it become a placeholder for something that we were never allowed to fully define? What do you think?
Yeah, we're still going to take it because we're not even African Americans. We don't want your reclassification. No, 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 no. We want our land back and we want our titles back. We want our ability to be able to operate freely on our land. So if you think you're doing us a big one by differentiating us and letting the world know that we're actually African Americans, no, baby. Do us the biggest one and get the f out of here. Okay? But to anyone who is confused, it is because out where y'all all think we look alike, honey, a lot of us don't come from Africa. And if our DNA does come from Africa, it's because our ancestors migrated here, possibly through the Grand Canyon, but it's okay. Different topic, different story, different day, but we were here. And many of us can trace our genealogy many generations right here on American soil. And before 1865, before they came, doing stuff, doing the mostest to the hostess, we were already here. And we didn't go by African American. So while they think they're differentiating us, they put our real titles up there. Give us back, don't give us shit. We're taking it.
You're talking in circles. Okay, so the reason they don't ask Black American people on the census their country of origin is because our country of origin is the United States of America. It's the United States Census. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you said you don't understand why all other racially Black people have to state their country. Why wouldn't they have to state their, if they're coming into the United States from their country of origin, they will state their country of origin, who they are. Their country of origin is not the United States. African Americans' country of origin is the United States. That is why when any other racially Black group or racially white group come, or racially whatever, they come into the United States of America, they're immigrants to the United States of America. And so the census asks, what is your nation of origin? Because that is statistics, it's a count of who is in the country. Did you not, even here in the United States, after people get here and been living here for years, whether they become American or not, okay? Because when you see all the other nations down, just because you moved to America and been living here for 7 years, it doesn't mean you're American. There are certain things you have to do to become American, okay? So even when people are here for years, right? You see the flag. They fly the flags of their nation of origin, okay? Some will have it in their cars. Some will have it on the houses. Some will have it in their social media posts. So I'm not understanding what you mean, why you don't understand why other racially Black people around the globe have to say their nation of origin on the census when they come into the United States of America. Because that's a count. It's a count of who is in the country. I ran across another question that was talking about how criminal is it to lie on the census. Well, technically it is a crime. And if you just wanted the government to have a reason, if you just want to give a reason to the government to come after you, then if they wanted to, they could, because it is technically a crime. You can see right here. Okay, so basically there's no reason why you should want to lie on the census. So if you're going to fill out the census, tell the truth, because you never know how icky the government can get. Normally, there's no penalty. However, there could be.
Cardi B identifies as Afro-Latina. Afro-Latina is Black. Black is the race. Afro-Latina is the ethnicity. African American is the ethnicity. Black is the race. So when you say she shouldn't say the N-word and you follow it up with because J-Lo, Mexican OT, and Fat Joe get dragged for saying it, and that people pick and choose, it seems that we're confused on what ethnicity and what race are. Or are you saying you have to be descended of African slaves of the continental United States to be able to say it? If that's the case, then Nicki Minaj shouldn't be saying it either. So it seems someone's picking and choosing. That's what it seems like. Somebody is picking and choosing. But Afro-Latina, African American, that is the ethnicity. Black is the race.
When you try to observe it well, this new form of new US census, it's kind of confusing. How come you are asking Black Americans to tick either they are from African Americans descent And yet, these people, they belongs in America, they've been born there, it's their land. Why can't you call them Americans? What are you trying to say? You are trying to bring division among African Americans and Black Americans, and yet, these two people, they kind of share same history. No wonder it's bringing a lot of confusion. You should have left a box where Americans or Black Americans, they should tick. But when you try to look well on this form, on Mexican people, they left where they would tick Mexican Americans. Have you seen? For them, it's way clear. But when you come on Black people, they say Black or African Americans. What's the meaning of that? We know we share same history. We know that most Black Americans, though, they don't want to agree or to hear something like that, but they came from Africa, but it's a way back. It's a way back. This new generation, they are Americans, they are indigenous of that land because they've been in America 400 years ago. Because during slavery, it started in 1890 what? In 1670 what? It's been long. And this time around, you are trying to remind them you belongs in Africa, either you like it or not, you are coming from Africa. When you try to see what is really happening right now, I don't understand why till date they keep trying to separate Black Americans, to make them always feel that they don't belong there, to keep them far, far away of development. You have seen in the areas where they stay, you find it's the most undeveloped area, Mississippi, Alabama, because they don't want these people to go far. They don't want to progress. They don't want to develop. They don't want to have higher educations. Recently, you have seen they came to close job corps, and it's been there for decades helping Black Americans because they don't want something good to come from them. Now you are saying you should tick either you are African Americans, you don't want to leave the ocean to say that they are Black Americans. Guys, I don't understand this time around what is really happening. I don't understand. You have seen the misunderstanding between the Latinos and the Black people, especially Black Americans. These two ethnicity, they kind of share some same history because even the Latinos, they went there in a way of slavery. But it's kind of fun to see how this time around they are trying to twist it. They are trying to make it possible to remind Black Americans, either you are Americans, but we know where you came from. Okay, well and good. After reminding them where they came from, what is next? What is your message? What do you really want them to know after that? No wonder you have seen this story of Africans, Americans. It's keep popping on internet. A lot of Black Americans, they say, we don't belong in Africa. We are not African Americans. Even African, they don't want us. But I think this time around, people need to know the truth because if you went in America in a way of slavery, in a forceful way, in a harassment way, it was a bad period, a bad season, but we couldn't even forget we have a roots where each and everyone came from. We can't even forget that our ancestors came from Africa. This is something you can't escape, either you like it or not. We know that because most of Black Americans, they grew in America. They have different type of culture, a little bit different from Africans, but it doesn't remove that their roots are from Africa. You have seen they also left a box where you should say if you are Haitian, you are Jamaicans. I don't understand. All these people went there in a way of slavery. But you are trying to say if you are living in America, you are feeling new US citizens, you should tick where you are coming from. Why are you trying to tell that people to say a country of origin? What is the meaning of that? I've seen some people, they say, me, I would say that I belongs in America, but they never left that opportunity to fill that box. Guys, when you see what is really happening right now, when you try to understand the history of Black Americans, a lot of people has been so long trying to hide, to twist that history, but it's already late because this new generation, everyone is awake, everyone knows each and everything. They know each and everything which is really happening or happened on them in the past. There is nothing you could lie about it. Guys, thank you for watching today's episode. Drop your opinion in the comment section. See you in my next video.